Christ is risen. Brothers and sisters in Christ, it's great to see you all here today on the Sunday of the Samaritan woman and also the mid-Pentecost feast. So we're celebrating today the midpoint between Easter, Pascha, and Pentecost. And because of that, they put the Samaritan woman there to explain the story. So as we can see what's going on here, we see that Jesus came at the 6th hour to a well, Jacob's well. Jacob's well is still there in Jerusalem today, and you can go there if you have the chance and drink from Jacob's well. And Jesus went there on the 6th hour, so that was noon. And who came along? A Samaritan woman. Now, if you think about it, noon in the middle of the desert is not the best time to go to the well, right? As we know here, we live in the Northeast, and it's only hot for maybe, 2 or 3 days now? It used to be months, but it's only 2 or 3 days. So if you're going to go out and do anything strenuous or anything, when do you do it? You do it in the early morning, or you do it in the late evening. You wouldn't really want to go out and cut your grass, do your gardening, and wash the car, and put on the roof in the middle of the day. But this is what it shows, that Jesus went in the middle of the day to meet this woman. That's when she went to the well. And as the church fathers have written, that she went to the well because of her life, right? And it's revealed to Jesus, it's not revealed to Jesus, it's revealed to the woman that Jesus knows all about her life. By telling her that she has no husband, she's had 5 husbands, and the current man she's with is not her husband. So she's a bit of an outcast, but she's still a Samaritan woman, right? And she's still knowledgeable. You can see by her long conversation, this is one of the longest conversations that's in the Bible between Jesus and a person that's documented. They have a conversation. And you can see the layers of herself coming apart, right? And Jesus talks to her and explains to her about the living water. And it's not about water, right? He was trying to give her an image of something that she knows. Because when you have a well and you don't have running water in your house, if you've ever been camping or if you've ever had a well that dried up or your electricity's out, you have to go, right now you go to the store, right, you get water, but you have to do it every day, sometimes twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day if you have animals to feed. So she knew something about water. So he was trying to tell her the living water. I can give you the living water. Now back then, the living water meant new water. It meant water from a pond or water from a stream or a new spring. That's what living water meant to her in those days. So he was trying to ease her into this, right? Because with anything that we do, anything new that we do, especially in orthodoxy or in prayer or in thoughtfulness or in researching anything or even starting a new job, you have to start out slow. He just couldn't walk up and say, "Hi, I'm the Christ, I'm here to save you," and go tell everybody else. Because it's not credible, right? So he would need to kind of ease her in. So he's talking about the living water and how she would not thirst. And the thirst is the thirst for life, for understanding, right? He's going to renew that within her. So she goes on to talk about the living water, and he's revealing to her. And it's funny because when we saw that Jesus went to this well, right, and it said that he was weary from his travels, right? And that the disciples went and bought food, and at the end they asked him to eat, right? Christ doesn't need to eat, right? Christ is not weary. she does accept it, and what does she do? She goes and runs through this gospel here. It says she runs through the city telling everyone. It's a great thing, right? You can just only imagine what joy she had to go and tell all of her friends and neighbors and relatives, all the people that she's ever known in her whole life live in this city, Samaria. And she's telling all of them, and they're coming out to see Jesus because they're believing her. And they ask him to stay, and he stays for 2 days. And many people were believing in Christ after that. And this woman, we know later on, is called Fotini. Have a Fotini here that was just newly baptized, and your husband's name is Jacob. Okay. So, just Jacob's well, and you're Fotini. So, God's working. So, we know that Fotini, you probably know better than I, but we know that Fotini went on to have a family, and she went on to convert many people in her whole family. And she was martyred by Emperor Nero, and the way she was martyred, she was thrown into a well. And it's hard to understand the cruelty of martyrdom and how cruel they were to Christians. But today, we are still